Hey Foot Geeks fans, today we want to review the Ghost 14. Now in this particular video we're going to be reviewing the women's Ghost 14, which is this particular style right here. It does come in multiple colors. Now do keep in mind that certain colors are not available in all of the width. And that's a cool feature about Brooks as well, is that both the men's and the women's are available in multiple widths. So you can get narrow, medium, wide, extra wide fittings in a lot of their styles. And that obviously is phenomenal for anybody that requires some additional room in the footwear. So do keep that in mind when you're picking a shoe. If it feels a little bit too loose, or maybe it's a little bit too snug, you have the ability to vary the width of the particular footwear to make sure that you do get enough space for your toes in the front of the shoe. Now there's a few features obviously that we want to point out with this particular product. It has a really nice heel counter in the back, so really firm and solid in here, keeps you on track. It's not going to allow you to move from side to side too much. It's, for straight running and walking. This is a great feature to have to keep your foot from sliding off the edges of the shoe, right? This is going to keep you in position. It's going to keep you in the center of that heel right here to allow you to take advantage of all that cushioning that this shoe has to offer, right? So there's obviously a really nice DNA Loft midsole right here, which is made out of EVA. And then that has a really cushy feel to it, really responsive bounce. And what's neat about it is that you're going to have a little bit more bounce through the heel as well, because they've cut away and taken away a lot of the rubber in the center of the heel right here to allow you to have even a little bit more cushioning in terms of the feeling when you're coming down on heel strike, right? Now the rubber itself kind of goes into the strike zones. There's a few things to keep in mind, that even though this is a neutral shoe, I still feel that it has a little bit of posting to it, and the posting really comes from the rubber sole that is put on this particular shoe. You can see how obviously there's rubber that fills in where the arch is, but then there's a little bit of rubber missing on the lateral side. So this is the outside of the shoe right here, and there's not really a lot of rubber right here. So for somebody that's supinating, if you have a tendency to walk on the outside of the foot, this is probably not the shoe for you. The other thing to keep in mind is because of the fact that this shoe kind of comes in here a little bit, one of the biggest issues is that if you have a tendency to kind of walk on the outside of your foot, this is going to cause you to roll out more when you're stepping into the middle right here. And that's definitely a feature that I would think, would be better to have that rubber piece on this side to allow us to feel, more connected on the ground as we're walking from heel to big toe push off, right? So that'd be a great thing to have more rubber on this side to provide that extra stability when the foot is kind of going through its motions, right? So in a sense, that makes this still a kind of a pronation shoe, even though it's a neutral base, meaning that the material both on the inside and the outside is the same density. There's not really a harder or more rigid material on the inside, which is added to a posted shoe. So if you have, for example, the Brooks Adrenaline, which is their posted kind of stability shoe, will have a different colored material on the inside, which provides some additional structure and stability right there. And that's something that in this case is obviously not in this particular product, because that's a neutral shoe, which has a cushioning feel to it, and it's not going to provide that additional stability. Now the insole itself is a cushion insole at the most. It doesn't have any arch support, so if you look at this, you can see it doesn't really provide any form of support whatsoever. So if you do want additional arch support, do put your orthotics or supports inside the shoe to provide additional stability, because this particular insole is not going to provide a lot of stability for you, and that's done on purpose, because obviously that's going to fit more feet. So you're not going to have to worry about it feeling odd or uncomfortable with your flat feet. And then if you have a high arch foot, maybe the arch support, being in the wrong spot or whatnot, is not going to affect you in this case either. It does have a good level of toe spring. So when you look at the front here, you can see the toe spring is actually quite nice. and it really rolls off nicely. It is a flexible shoe, so don't use this for hallux rigidus conditions where you maybe you can't bend your toe, because it's still going to flex, unless maybe put a plate in the bottom to try to stiffen up this particular shoe. And the nice thing about this particular shoe, the reason it tends to bend really well is because they put these flex grooves in here. So you can see the grooves right there are actually going to allow the shoe to be responsive out of the box, and it's really going to flex easily for anybody that wants to have a smooth transition from heel to toe and push off, right? Now, if you have any questions regarding the Brooks Ghost 14, please post this below. If you haven't subscribed to us yet on YouTube, do so right over there. Have an awesome day.